Greetings to my wheel tier list video.
Pick up the mic and talk into it.
So, I made two sections, a standard wheel and a limited wheel. Don't compare the standard one to the limited one. It's completely different categories. Remember, standard wheels you can get plus 12 of, and that's more controversial than limited wheels. Because standard wheels are what most free-to-play players, what low spenders, what dolphins are going to go plus 12. This is why wheel jail exists. Now, let's go over the standard wheel tier list, according to me. This S tier is undebatable. 99% of the community will agree on this. If a person does not have plus 12 Giants Blade or Titans Blade or whatever it's called now, they're bricking their account or they're a trash player if they're purposely not going for it. And you shouldn't listen to them. It is one of the best wheels in the entire game to plus 12 from the standard section. It probably is the best wheel. That's why 99.99999% of the community says to plus 12 Giants Blade or Titans Blade is a new name first. Second option, people will tell you is InCalc. Now we pull up the game and go over effects. This is going to be a long video because I'm going to talk about why I placed the wheels in this section for new players. It's going to be probably an hour long, maybe 2 hour long video. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll get this done in 10 minutes. Probably not. So, Blade of the Titan. After the wielder finishes using Exalt, their crit damage increased by 60% for the rest of their turn. And the wielder's card in hand has a 35% chance to reduce a rift cost by 1 this turn. Also, near 30% crit rate. That's why it's broken. 30% crit rate and this effect. This is broken. This is why blue will use it. This is why any to wheel uses it. This is why this wheel is very good in general. So, what's next? Hold up. Let me splice this video. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I need to do something. So, that is why this is good on Twill, it's good on Calf, it's good on Jellet, it's good on every single S-tier DPS Awaker. Any DPS Awaker, when 90% of content creators are trying them out, we're putting this wheel on them first. That is, without a question, the best wheel in the game for DPS. Crit rate, crit damage after Exalt. And it's easy to plus 12. Remember, the reason why we're plus 12 in standard wheels is because if you have a plus 12, you can use another SSR to equip 2 SSR wheels. This is why wheel jail exists. And that's why, because you need a lot of comps endgame. And you need a lot of these wheels plus 12. Well, I would have said, I use the word need, but if you want your team to be strong, this is the easiest way for 99% of players to do it. It's the only way for 100% of players to do it. If you whale out, it still is not going to prevent you from equipping 2 SSR wheels, and SSR wheels are better. Like I covered it in previous videos, but people were just watching this video. So, SSR wheels have double the stats of SR wheels. SR wheels have double the stats of R wheels. So, this is an SSR wheel, 30% crit rate about. And let's go to the SR equivalent. So, you ignore the effects. The effects are very strong too, but let's talk about the stats. So, let's go to crit rate. So look, plus 12, 30%. Plus 12, 30%. Any crit rate, it's going to have this value if it's plus 12. And this goes with any stat. It's always double. Now, an SR will have half of it. And R will have half of that. That extends to every other wheel in the game. That's why you want to equip 2 SSR wheels endgame. That is why we're in wheel jail. That's why everyone who's been playing the game long is still in wheel jail. We're trying to plus 12 every wheel in standard for the stats. That is why. Okay. Now, back to the wheel list. Sorry about that. I just wanted to explain all the new videos. Again, this is going to be a long video because I ramble and I do an in-depth explanation. So, InCalc. This is the wheel everyone tells you to get second. But this is somewhat, not really, like 90%. Like it drops from 100% people telling you to go for Titan's Blade to like 90% telling you to go for InCalc. The reason why is because InCalc can be replaced by others if you're not using InCalc, but it's still a very good wheel. I recommend going for a second because this is the effect, elements regen, and this. Elements generated by the wielder 50%, and the key flare. So on G-Doll, everyone runs G-Doll endgame nowadays. Because G-Doll is very strong, +4. And you pair this with G-Doll and her wheel. She needs a lot of ailments to get running. So it's pretty simple wheel. I don't need to explain it much. So let's go back to the tier list. Let me close this out. And boom. So, A tier. After you pull these 2 wheels plus 12 in wheel jail, you're going to get into hotly contested debates in any Discord chat, any English chat. If you ask what to pull after InCalc, various gangs, various organization will tell you to pull for different. It's either the Finn Money Gang, the like Chain Gang, the Bloody Feast Gang, the Pharaoh's Gang. These are the main 4 gangs you have to look out for in order to not get shanked. So once you choose which gang you're gonna join, you better keep quiet about what you're gonna pull next. Once you plus 12 top 2, you basically know what you need for your comp. What I did personally, you can even see here what I did. I pulled for Finn. You know why? Because I used the big cock. I love caucus. And this is very good. This is money. Money, 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 money every day. That is what I believe in. It's not suitable for everyone, and that's fine. You can go for Bloody Feast for Dorcine. It depends on your need and situation. So let's go over the 4 gangs. Okay? The 4 gangs of wheels where you will feel for your life in English chat. If you tell someone you're pulling for one of these wheels, they're going to call you fucking retarded for pulling this wheel and not their wheel. They're going to send assassins to your home, so put a gun to your head to pull their wheel. So this is why I believe in the caucus wheel of X, because I run caucus. You can ignore this. The money. Look at this money. I like the money. I am greedy. That is why. And this to help him heal more. Like this effect is good. Counter, blah, blah, blah. At the start of battle, gain strength equals to 12% of their constitution. If the current realm is blue, gain additional tentacle damage of the same amount. This is huge on my big cock. My caucus has a lot of constitution because I invested in them. If you have a big cock, you pull for Finn. If you have a big caucus, you pull for Finn. I believe in the big cock. Now, other option, if you have Dorcine, you ignore that. You ignore what I just said, you pull for this. If you have Dorcine, you pull for Bloody Feast. You're the Bloody Feast gang. You know why? He needs this. He needs this crit damage. He needs this crit rate and crit damage on his Exalt. And he needs this. He needs all of this along with his wheel plus 12. If you have Dorcine, pull for this. If you don't like any of the 2 options, a good general option is Pharaoh's damage amp. Pretty good. This is free. Your strike is free. 100% to gain 1 Rift. You ignore this. If people pull it for this free, you ignore the rest of this. This is good too for poison for 24. Whatnot for Miriam. You don't care. Damage amp and this is why you will pull for Pharaohs. It's general use. Next, the next game, the Chains Unbound game. Very good. The base damage of the wielder's card increased by 40%. Huge. And at turn start, 30% generate a random card of the wielder in hand with added exhaust. This effect, very good. Some of you are like, fuck those other 3 options. I want it to be carried. Chain them out, boy. Go for it. Chain them out. Fine. This is very good. People don't like the RNG. People want the money. People have the Dorcine for the Bloody Feast. People like the consistency of the other wheels. This is inconsistent because sometimes it can be extreme value. But for caster, for example, some caster mains say to plus 12 this to use on him because you always want to play a caster card first. And this is a way to get a guaranteed Quasar or guaranteed just hit 30% if you don't happen to pull a caster card. So if you have caster, you can pull this. That's fine. So let's go on back to the list. Now, that's how I rate my tier. A tier means it's universal. Like, if you have calf, just pull for will unyielding. Even though it's C tier. C tier is not means it's trash. It means it's only good on specific awakers or the awakers they belong to. It's not universal. These wheels aren't universal. You can't put it in most comps. You need a certain comp for it to work. Whereas the S and A tier, you're going to encounter it in almost every comp. So B tier. B tier is reserved for even more controversial wheels that are not bad options for you to pull next plus 12. But people will hate you even more than pulling this. Because in most people's eyes, you should pull these 6 wheels instead of these 3 wheels. Even though these 3 wheels are just fine. They're very good. I think they're very good. But they're not A or S tier. You're going to encounter more pushback in Discord and from other people saying, why would you pull for these wheels? Now let's go over these wheel effects. Now, Lullaby. It's a DR wheel. So I don't believe in DR that much besides one comp, which is the G-Doll straight to boss comp. But people like the DR, and this is a pretty decent one because after trigger resistant, Embryo Fusion. That's why it's pretty decent. Some people say pull for this. I will not say pull for this, but I'm putting it out there. People are going to say you are fucking stupid for pulling for it. And most people would agree. That's why it's B tier. They're very controversial. These are completely controversial choices, dude. You will encounter a lot of people saying not to do it. So let's go to the Gift of Decay, which is even more controversial. But it's decent. You know why? Damage amp. Damage amp, remember, affects the damage of the entire team. No matter who you put it on. You put this on support, boom. Damage amp for the entire team. And also the effect, poison effect, increased by 17%. Not that bad. And this, applied their poison, you go 20%. Not that bad. And Posse, Ailwitter gains ailments. It's not bad. See, it's a huge poison effect increase. So, it's very niche. It's very niche. Very few comps. Not any comps I would run, personally. But you might find a use for it. I'm not going to push back against you because I'm a good content creator, unlike those trash Ultra players. So, next. Let's go to Path Forsaken. This is the least controversial of my B tier wheels. A lot of people would say go for it, but it falls short of the other wheels I mentioned. So where's my Path Forsaken here? Here we go. Here's my little rat boy. Crit rate and its effect. Really good. Nothing to write at home about. Crit rate, this is good. It's just not as good as the other 4. So if you have to pick anything, pick this. That's fine. But again, you will probably pick C tier wheels on my list before you pick that. Why? Okay, let's go back to the list. My C tier list, it means it's only good on very specific comps, very specific awakers. It's not flexible. Like Will Unyielding, you would only want to plus 12 it, which I'm doing for Calf. You saw my Calf video, everyone's doing it now. To double up her strike and defenses, and they start with a Fiamma from her E3. You saw my Calf video, that's why I'm pulling for it. But it only works on very specific cases, very specific comps, like my Calf. Like Glutton's Tail, very specific. It only people, it's very good. Very good endgame. These are very good wheels still. There is use endgame. Chinese whales, plus 12 Glutton's Tail, and put it on Solis with her wheel. Very specific comps. Very specific comps. Silent Banquet, really only Karen runs it most time. Mostly only Karen. Rudder, mostly only Solis. I put it twice here, but because it's just, very controversial. It's not as good as Glutton's, I'll put it both. Like Memory Spiral. You only put it in comps where you generate a lot of shields that are retained. So basically caster. You put it on someone else on a caster comp. That's the only situation you will ever use Memory Spiral. But it is a good option. Same with Pale Descendant. Pale Descendant. You only really use on Agrippa because it's poison and embryo. And guess what is the only poison Carol unit? Let me give you some time to think about this. What unit is poison and Carol? And that generates shield. It's even more niche. It's extremely niche. That's why it's here. Oh look, let's go to it. Okay. Sigil yield, money. That's good. Shield. Okay, the wielder needs to generate shield. Defense triggers poison. It needs to be poison. And when Carol, embryo fusion. What is the only Carol, poison, tank, shielder. There's only one, Agrippa. Fate is going to use it. She's a DR. You put DR stuff on her. Not even though she generates shield. Who else generates shield? Salvador? Does he do poison? No, you want his wheel. You put anything else on him. Okay, these are the two other defender Carol units. Is anyone else a defender? Nope. Damage support. Damage. 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 Damage support. Damage support. Damage support. Or actually buff damage support. Damage. There's literally one choice. That's why it's C tier. But it's good on Agrippa. I can't. You cannot use it anywhere else. No matter how much you cook, you can't use it anywhere. That's why it belongs here. D. D tier means it's usable if you have it plus 12. Just pair it with someone else. You use it for the stats. You still pull for it. It's decent. It's not thing home to write about. So you ignore Rudder. I already went over Rudder. So let's full it. Death of Miss Coral and Song of the Bound. You will use Death of Miss Coral just for the DR. You ignore the other effect. That means we're not using it for the purpose of using it. That's what being in D tier means. It not means it's trash. Even though by most metric it is, sometimes you might have a case for a D tier wheel. Now, let's go to Follett. Sometimes, if you have a plus 12 something, you might put this on. It's not that bad. Is it used that much? Nope. Eventually, the crit rate in this are good, but you would pull for any other wheel. Because the only poison, thing is Liz, and Liz is pretty bad. So, next, Death of Miss Coral. People run this. I run it. You know why? For the DR. But Death of Miss Coral, not a good wheel. You ignore this. This might as well be 0. This might as well be 0. Because it's 12% of the wielder's defense. And each tentacle increased by 3. In the best case scenario, when you have someone with 200 defense, this will get you 24 shield. Plus 3%. 24. 24 is not a lot of shield. You use this for this stat. That is the only reason why you would use this. So that's why it's D tier. Now, Song of the Bound. Sigil yield, very good. But this, add 1 inspiration and 1 strike to the wielder's deck. Again, strike meta is not a thing. It's not a thing. Strikes are not a thing, and you don't want to clog your deck. And if you were going to clog your deck, you just use Will and Yielding for Calf. So this is why it's pretty bad. Because of clogging your deck. But you have it plus 12, sure, for the money. Now, let's go to the F tier. F tier means no one uses these. You would hardly see this used ever in D-Tide. Very rarely. No one uses these wheels. No one pulls for these wheels because they're pretty bad. But again, if you have them plus 12, you use them. Because, that's the stats. So, let's go. Is Hat and Drifting. Drifting is better than Hat. You know why? Because even if you ignore the drifting bad, it's crit rate. This is going to be 30% crit rate if you plus 12 it. But this is bad. Counter. If you want counter, use Caucasus wheel. Use Wanda's wheel. Use anything else but this. Because this is temporary strength equal to 7% of your attack for each attack received. Some mobs, the maximum hit, other side, besides the infinite scaling mobs and hits, the base max hit in the game you'll counter is either 6 or 10 on most enemies. So let's say the God scenario, 10 hits, 70% of the wielder's attack. 70% of the wielder's attacks, let's say you put this on the highest attack stat Awaker, which is around 200. 200, 70%. That is 140 temporary strength for 1 turn. 140 temporary strength, not worth it. You're gonna have strength in the several hundreds or thousands. For this, there are better wheels you can put than this. And again, no one who does counter has that high of attack stat that wants this. So after wielder, this is also bad. in that scenario where you have 200 attack stat, remember, this is the optimal scenario. This is never going to happen. You're going to get 26 counter. 200 attack, 13%, you're going to get 26 counter. That's why it's F tier. Now, Happy Magic Show. After the wielder releases Exalt, okay, reason why this is bad, it's even worse than that, because Realm Mastery. No one uses this shit, dude. This is good only on Cassia and very rare scenarios. So, after the wielder uses Exalt, they get 4 ailments and 40 key flare. Again, it's a little higher than that. It's like 6 and 60, I think. But if, you ignore this, that if statement, temporary strength goes 8%, this is even worse. This is 16. Best case scenario, 200 attack. 200 attack, best case scenario, you're getting 32 temporary strength. 32 temporary strength per card, plus, again, 72. 72 temporary strength. Wow. But this has Realm Mastery. Why would you not put a crit rate or crit damage or damage amp wheel instead? That's why it's F tier. Very bad. I explained this. I go for explanation. That's always. So let's see. Let's go to the rest of the... Okay, let's go to limited wheels. Again, limited wheels are rated by... Again, I'll upload this to the Holy Spreadsheet after I've done making it slightly more neat. I use the word slightly because I'm doing this on my free time. I might grind some Borderlands 4. So, let's see. Limited wheels. So, S tier. If it's hand size, it goes there. Or if it's key flare, or if it's very good. Very good key flares and hand size goes here. So, S tier is caster hand size, to wheel hand size, dies hand size. All S tier. Hand size is S tier automatically. If a wheel ever comes out with hand size +2, and the description says, if you use this wheel, Light will go to your house and bash your like brain in, I will put it in S tier. If a wheel says, if you use this wheel, you will lose 10 of your fingers plus hand size 5, I would put it in S tier. Hand size is that important. If the wheel says +2 hand size, you now are single for the rest of your life, you will never know true love, S tier. That is how good hand size wheels are. So automatic S tier. Now I'm gonna explain the wheels that aren't hand size and why they're here, because anyone that plays any card game for more than 5 seconds will know why. And if you don't know why, this is not the game for you. Play a different game if you do not understand why, if it's a hand size wheel, it goes in S tier. So let's go on the other wheels. So Sunfall, Birth, and this. Great. These are the triple Battle Pass wheels. Battle Pass wheels are paid to win paid wheels. The only way you can get it is through the Battle Pass. If you're free to play, you will never, ever, ever, ever in your entire life get these wheels. You need to buy the Battle Pass to get these wheels. And these are the best wheels. I'm sorry. So let's go over the Battle Pass wheels. So, it's recommended you get one of each first and start getting dupes. I recommend finishing Sunfall first. Some people say go for Birth and stuff, but Sunfall first. Sunfall is probably one of the best wheels in the entire game for damage. You know why? It's damage amp, base damage increased by 20%, poison and counter gen increased by 20%. That means any card that does equal damage to poison, equal damage to counter, doubles up. Because it gets the base damage increase, more damage, and when you deal damage, the poison and counter you generate is also increased. That's why it's good. See how broken it is? It doubles up. It doubles up, baby. And if you remove this, it's already S tier. But it gets better. Crit rate and crit damage by 20 fucking %. So, you can pretend this is an everything wheel. You have 30% damage amp, 20% crit rate, 20% crit damage, another 20% on base damage. And if it's a poison or counter unit, another 20%. You can ignore any part of this wheel, and it still be S tier. That's why it's good. If you look at this, it's broken. If you still do not know why this is broken, stop the video, uninstall the game. This game is not for you. This is the most clear case of being broken in your entire life. Just look at it. Holy shit, dude. This is why everyone says it's good. Because a fucking Ultra player can recognize this is good. Now, the other wheels that take some more explaining. Key Flare. Good. And not just Key Flare. This. At turn's end, get 15 Animus and Key Flare equal to their Key Flare regen. Insanely broken. Key Flare is king arc 2. Now, Birth of a Soul. This broken arc 2. You know why? Health is king. You know why? Your counter and your poison is capped by your max 8 HP. This increases your poison and counter caps. Also, this effect is good. Healing and shield, blah, 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 10%. You ignore that. This, after wielding playing point strike, for 6% of lost HP. You have a huge health pool now. After playing a defense, 6% of current life. You have a huge health pool now. So, for all those people who are not on Arc 2, Poison and Counter got a bit of a nerf. So, let me scroll down. I go this every time I have to explain this, because new players. Counter exceeds. Yep. Counter stacking up to 1500% of max HP. Poison, max HP. If you want higher counter poison caps, you need higher max HP. You get higher max HP by putting on that wheel on anyone on your team. That's why I put it on my Hamel. So, that is Brain Dead. Those are why those are S tier. Now, the other wheel that's S tier is this. 2200 Key Flare at turn end. Also, S tier Arc 1. If you're not a good player, you're going to use EE-Cog, which is a revive. After you use a revive, you get 3 mana and 3 cards every turn. You get insane buff. So if you think you're going to lose, you put this before you enter a stage, and you win when you use your revive. So, I think that goes over all the S tiers. Nothing comes close in the limited wheels besides those. Nothing even comes close. So, scrolling down. The A tier wheels. Very good. Even meta for limited wheels. However, it would be very controversial to compare it to S tiers, because S tiers are too strong wheels. These are fake in other tier lists that are garbage that uses S, S plus, SS plus. They would put this in S tier. However, I don't believe in that. My tier list is always S to F. I'm using the full gamut. Everyone has tier lists that ends with C tier. C is average, folks. Okay? C is fucking average. And if C is your lowest tier list, kill yourself. Fine, make a different tier list. Redo your tier list. Okay? We need a baseline average to compare to. The worst unit should be F. The worst wheel should be F. That's how I roll. Okay? So, A tier. Very good. Even meta. This. Crit rate. This. Rewinding time. Daffodil. Horlas. And Calf. So let's go over all of them in game to describe what and my explanation to why they're A tier. And very good. Again. You guys are looking at this wondering, why the fuck do you have Dorothy in C tier? Why the fuck do you have Jellet B tier wheel? What A tier means is that it's universal. It's good on a lot of units. A lot of units. You can put it on a lot of comps. A lot of comps. Very good. Jellet wheel. Very good on Jellet. Do you see anyone else putting Jellet wheel on them? No. Do you see anyone else putting these wheels? They're weaker. They're slightly weaker. They're less universal if they're in B tier or C tier. That's all that means. It depends on your needs as a player. A tier wheels can be used in multiple comps and are very flexible. They're not the best choice for every scenario. That is true. But they're the best choice for most scenarios. So first off, what I put, this event wheel. Why did I put this when the effect isn't as strong as someone? It's a free plus 12. If you buy it, it's a free plus 12 and it's a shit ton of crit rate. This is 75% crit rate. 75% crit rate. Moving on. I don't think I need to explain why 75% crit rate is good. Rewinding time, key flare, and this effect. This can be used on multiple Awakers. This can be used on Hamel. You use this on Memory Run, you get it back. After playing the wielder's command card, 60% chance to return it to hand from the discard pile. So this is insanely flexible. If you play it on Hamel, on his memory, you get it back. And yeah, you can play this without needing mana for it. If you play it on a lot of Awakers, you get your card back and play again. There's a lot of Awakers who want to double play their cards. And that gives you a chance for it. And it's key flare. It's good. Nothing like you can put it on Murphy. Get double Divine Maiden, double Vortex, whatever you want. So I think if you know how important key flare is, you would agree. A tier. Very good. Now next, G-Doll's wheel. G-Doll's wheel is the best Alienist wheel, period, in general. Because you ignore this. This could not exist, and it will still be A tier. They gain Ailments equals to 20% of Ailments consumed. If it costs 10 million Ailments, it's still 20% of that. This is very good. But put it on, even on the Sangha D-Tai comp, G-Dog comp, anything. 20% Ailments back, you want it. You want it to Exalt again. Mostly is used on G-Dog, but you can use it on Sangha and use it on anyone that exalts. Just G-Dog uses it the best. Next. Let's go to Daffodil's Will. Daffodil's Will is one of the recommended whale wheels to plus 12. Now it has competition with Calf Wheel. Why is this very important? This is the highest source of crit damage in the game from one source. At max, it's roughly, I want to say 48%. Let me double check that just to make sure. Unlike others, I care about my content. It's 43.2% crit damage at max, plus 50% for each kill. Or plus 50% if you get 5 kills. So this is 93% crit damage. Plus, yeah, it's 95% crit damage. You ignore the leap effect, because you can put this on any DPS that does crit damage. You can put this on Dorsey at end of fight. And you get $2 every time an enemy dies. That's good too. But this is a 90% crit damage. That's why it's good. If you whale it out plus 12. So, next choice. Horla's Wheel. Horla's Wheel, very good on a lot of units. You can ignore the DR. The reason why it's good, this. Crit damage, crit rate, increased by 20%. Everything is increased by 20%. Crit rate, crit damage, your shield, heals, ailments, strength gen, all increased by 20%. That's why this is very good on Corpo, not Horla. On Calf, not Horla. DPS can use this better than Horla. It's 20% of everything. When they made this wheel, they were on crack, dude. I don't know why they made this wheel this good. You can ignore this. This is probably the only case where you don't care about this stat. You care about this. You ignore this too. This is the only reason why it's so good. It's everything. Guess what? Corpo does all of this. So, next wheel that's really good. What I believe in. I invested all my pools in this. Calf. This is, I think it's better than Daffodils. Well, I use it on Dorothy, I use it on Jellet. I can use it on Tawil. Any DPS can use this. Base damage, 35%. Crit damage, 43%. Strength gen, 12%. And after using Wielder's Command Run, get 10% strength equals 20% of attack. Attack 5 times per turn. Huge. Humongous. Broken. This is why I wailed out on this. Great wheel. Now, let's go to the B tier wheels and why they are the way they are. So, Murphy, Eski, Arita, Hart, Tulu, Jellet, Aegis, Hamel. So, let me group them up. So, these, Erica's wheel, Hart, Arita, Aegis, and are all here because they're welfare. You can plus 12 them very easily, and they're very good. This is Key Flare, Alert, Strength. This is Bone, whoever. Key Flare, Crit Rate. This is here. You get plus 12 of this if you're an older player. This is a plus 12 annual. Everyone, even pre-play, got this plus 12. If you're a newer player, you will not have this plus 12. You can ignore this wheel. Now, the 4 limited wheels that are actually here that aren't welfare is Hamel, Jellet, Murphy, and Tulu. Now let's go over why these are good B tiers. Now, switching screens again. Now, let's see. What's the first one here? Let's go to fucking Tulu. Why it's good? Start a battle, 40 alien miss. Anytime order, this is just a ton of alien miss. That is why. Alien miss is start a battle. Put it on Aegis. Put it on anyone. Very good alien miss regen. Next, Jellet. Why is this not AA tier flares? Only Jellet really uses it. Very good on Jellet. It's her best in slot wheel. You would use this and something else. You would never replace this. Very good on Jellet. This is very specific, and not a lot of Awakers can use this. They rather use a crit rate or crit damage relic. Again, this is a pure Jellet wheel. Now, next. Let's go to what do I have here? Oh, Hamel wheel. Hamel wheel is here. You will use this every D-type. Not on Hamel. Whichever boss is wave 3, you use Hamel's wheel. You know why? You get 1 silver key radiance. What it does is it is a card that you will double play a random posse twice. Pick one of 3 posses and you double posse. But you only do it once the entire exploration. So in exploration stages, it's bad. If it's straight to boss, like in wave 3, you use it. So in every wave 3, you will put this wheel on your team, whatever team that is. You can ignore all this unless you're running Mono Will. Mono Will will play this with her, but it's a whale comp unlike Blue Will. I believe in the Blue Will. Now, that is why this wheel is good on boss fights, and why it's not it's not universal. It's not that universal. Next, let's go to Murphy's. Murphy's wheel is more niche, but it's key flare. Lots of key flare for defenses. Lots and lots of key flare. Very good. Key flare is king, baby. So, we can go over the welfare wheels, but generally, they're all pretty good. And they're welfare wheels. You can get them every month. Get them every month. You'll hit plus 12 on them eventually, after a year. It's recommended to get the welfare wheels every time they come by. One day, This will be plus 12. I got 7 more months for me. 7 more months for good old flares. So, let's go to the C tiers, which means it's only good on very specific Awakers, very specific comps, but it's very good. You would not run these comps without it. Thorazine. It only goes on Thorazine. Next, no one else would use it. Yeah, no one else can use it to the full effect as Thorazine. No one else in the entire game. Put this on Thorazine. That's it. Lotan, welfare wheel. You either use it on Lotan or Thorazine or some other comps, or you use it on anyone once it's plus 12. Before it's plus 12, you don't use it. I don't use it. I have a plus 6. This wheel. Again, this is one of the fucking free plus 12 wheels. Why is it C tiered then, flares? It's okay. Sometimes you wouldn't even use it. In some details, I don't even use it, even though it's plus 12. Because it's very niche. But in certain comps, it works. It does those wonders. Very niche. Riker. You only use this on Riker. Riker's the only one that plays with dice. The 24 wheel. You use this on very niche things. Even 24 doesn't even use it anymore. People put this on like Arita. People put this on like other units that needs regen every turn. They don't put this on even 24. So don't even pull it. Next, the brain. Welfare wheel. Only use it on doll. Pikmin wheel. Again, very niche. Pikmin. Fucking Miriam's wheel. Very niche. You use it on Miriam. Salvador wheel. You use it on Salve. You see the theme of all these CTO wheels? You have to use these on these Awakers. But other Awakers don't really steal these wheels from them. Now, D tier. D tier. You only use if you are out of wheels or they are plus 12. If you're very desperate, put this in. F tier. Wanda. No one uses this. No one really plays Wanda. So, let me switch things. I finished the list. Let me switch and go in more depth. Because this is in depth. I will tell you. If you need a good reason. So, Miriam wheel. Why is it only used really on Miriam? Crit damage is very good. Alien miss increased by 9%. Who does damage, crit damage, and wants alien miss? And poison? No one. After Wielders does damage, all Awakers get a temporary crit damage increase equals 13% of the Wielders' crit damage. Again, you don't put this on DPS because this buffs your main DPS. And tentacle limit and tentacle number, nice. Wanda uses this. I mean, not Wanda. Miriam uses this. That's it. Thorazine. Base damage, very good. Every time it kills, yeah, very good. Thorazine. This is for Thorazine. Sorrel can maybe use it. No one really plays Sorrel. Just play Thorazine. Now next, what's another niche we'll have there? Lotan. I'm not going to go over Lotan as a waste of time. Let's see. Oh, 24. Again, this wheel is very good. Before the Battle Pass, before Titan's Blade, use it on 24. But this, 20 elements it turns in, very good on Arita. Arita. But it's on the Arita. Now, next. Let's go. Everyone knows the thing about Pikmin wheel. That's boring. Let's go to Salvador wheel. So, what Awaker? Shields, heals, wants crit rate, wants crit damage, Caro. It's Salvador. The answer is Salvador, folks. No one else can really use this because it's money. It's money and Salvador. Moving on. This is a Salvador. If you can figure out a Waker that works well with this, other than Salvador, go ahead. This is a Salvador wheel, folks. So, next wheel. Let's go to fucking Rika. Always crit. Money. Wielder's card crit rate 3% for each relic possession after dice. Gain, alias, temporary crit damage. Yeah, it's money. This goes on Riker, folks. No one else can use it. Now, let's go to the D tier wheels. This is Sorrel wheel. No one really uses Sorrel seriously. And this is pretty bad overall. You would want, it's not worth the pulls, because remember, you need to plus 12 to use it. If you have unlimited funds, this is good. But you have other places to plus 12. So, yeah. Not recommended to pull. Next, Lily. Lily's injection time. Where's the fucking injector? Here you go. Use this mostly on Lily. Poison and shield generation. Guess who's the only one that does poison and shield? Lily. And wants their strike to crit rate and crit damage. Lily. This is only Lily. So, next. The welfare Ogier wheel. Even I don't use this right now. I don't use it. I use Ogier. You know why? I use him as an S-key bot. This. Shield generated by the wielders. Just make him an S-key bot. Again, I'm plussing it because it's money. Money. One day it will be plus 12 and I'll use it. And let's go to the last wheel I have here. There are more wheels, but let's go to fucking Wanda. Yeah, why waste your money on this? Counter gen. Yeah, that is why it's bad. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Okay, that concludes the wheel tier list. I'll make the spreadsheet a little bit neater and I'll release it. See you guys next time.